Bilbo Baggins was a hobbit. He lived in a hole in the ground. It was not a dirty hole. It was a comfortable hole with many rooms. Hobbits are small people. They are about half the size of humans. They have big feet with hair on them. They do not wear shoes. Hobbits like to eat, sleep, and stay at home. One morning, Bilbo was smoking his pipe outside his door. A tall man with a grey hat walked up to him. The man had a long grey beard. "Good morning," said Bilbo. "What do you mean?" asked the man. "Do you mean that it is a good morning, or do you want me to have a good morning?" Bilbo was confused. He just wanted to be polite. The man was Gandalf, the wizard. Bilbo did not want to talk to him. Wizards were trouble. Bilbo went back inside his house. That evening, someone knocked on Bilbo's door. It was a dwarf. His name was Dwalin. Soon, more dwarfs came. There were 13 dwarfs in total. They ate all of Bilbo's food. The dwarfs wanted Bilbo to help them. They wanted to go to a mountain far away. A dragon lived there. The dragon's name was Smaug. Smaug had stolen the dwarf's gold and home many years ago. "We need a burglar," said Thorin, the leader of the dwarfs. "You can help us steal our gold back from the dragon." Bilbo did not want to go. He was scared of dragons. But Gandalf said he should go. It would be an adventure. The next morning, Bilbo packed his things. He took some clothes and food. The dwarves had already left. Bilbo ran to catch them. They traveled for many days. They walked through forests and over hills. Bilbo's feet hurt. He missed his comfortable bed and good food. One evening, they saw a fire in the forest. 3 big trolls were sitting around it. Trolls are very big and very stupid. They eat people. The trolls had caught some horses. They wanted to cook them for dinner. "Go and look," Thorin told Bilbo. "You are our burglar." Bilbo was scared, but he went. He tried to steal something from the trolls, but they caught him. "What is this?" said one troll. "It's very small." "Let's cook it," said another troll. The trolls put Bilbo in a bag. Then they caught all the dwarfs too. The trolls wanted to cook everyone for breakfast. But Gandalf came back. He was hiding behind a tree. Gandalf could make his voice sound different. He made the trolls fight each other. The trolls fought until the sun came up. When sunlight hit trolls, they turned to stone. All 3 trolls became stone statues. Bilbo and the dwarves were safe. They found the troll's cave. Inside there was gold and weapons. Bilbo took a small sword. Gandalf took a sword too. They continued traveling east. After many days, they came to a beautiful valley. In the valley was a house. It belonged to Elrond, an elf lord. Elves are tall and beautiful. They live for a very long time. They are wise and good. Elrond was thousands of years old. "Welcome," said Elrond. "You can rest here." The house was peaceful. There was good food and comfortable beds. Bilbo felt happy for the first time since leaving home. Elrond looked at their swords and a map that Thorin had. The map showed the way to the mountain where the dragon lived. "These swords are very old," said Elrond. "They were made to fight evil creatures." Elrond also found secret writing on the map. The writing could only be seen in moonlight. "There is a secret door in the mountain," Elrond read. "You can only open it on a special day when the sun and moon are in the right place." This was important information. Now they knew how to get inside the mountain. After 2 weeks of rest, they had to continue their journey. The mountain was still far away. The group left the peaceful valley. They traveled through the mountains. The weather was cold and wet. Sometimes it rained. Sometimes it snowed. One night they found a cave to sleep in. It seemed safe and dry. But in the middle of the night, the back wall of the cave opened. Goblins came out. Goblins are evil creatures. They live under the mountains. They hate everyone, especially dwarves and elves. The goblins caught Bilbo and the dwarves. They took them deep underground to their king. The Goblin King was huge and ugly. "Why are you in our mountains?" asked the Goblin King. The goblins wanted to kill them, but suddenly all the lights went out. Gandalf had come to save them. He fought the goblins with his sword and magic. In the darkness and fighting, everyone ran in different directions. Bilbo got lost. He fell down and hit his head. When he woke up, he was alone in a dark tunnel. Bilbo walked slowly in the darkness. His hand touched something cold on the ground. It was a ring. He put it in his pocket. The tunnel led to an underground lake. In the lake lived a strange creature called Gollum. Gollum lived alone in the dark. He had big eyes that could see in the darkness. He ate fish and goblins. He had lived there for hundreds of years. Gollum found Bilbo by the lake. "What is it?" Gollum asked. "Is it good to eat?" Bilbo had his sword. "I am Bilbo Baggins," he said. Gollum wanted to eat Bilbo, but he was curious about this stranger. "Let's play a game," said Gollum. We ask each other's riddles. If you win, I show you the way out. If I win, I eat you. Bilbo was scared, but agreed. They took turns asking riddles. Gollum asked what has roots that nobody sees. Is taller than trees. Up, up it goes and yet never grows. A mountain, said Bilbo. Bilbo asked, what has hands but cannot clap? A clock, said Gollum. They asked many riddles. Finally, Bilbo couldn't think of a good riddle. He put his hand in his pocket and felt the ring. What have I got in my pocket? He asked. This was not a fair riddle, but Gollum tried to guess. He guessed wrong 3 times. You must show me the way out, said Bilbo. But Gollum was angry. He went to get something from his island in the lake. It was his precious, a magic ring that made the wearer invisible. But the ring was gone. Where is it? Where's our precious? Gollum screamed. Bilbo realized that he had found Gollum's ring. By accident, he put the ring on his finger. Suddenly, he became invisible. Gollum could not see him. Bilbo followed Gollum, who was looking for him. Gollum went toward the exit, still searching for his precious. Bilbo found the way out and ran. He jumped over Gollum and escaped from the tunnels. Bilbo came out of the mountain. It was evening. He took off the ring and became visible again. Soon he found Gandalf and the Dwarves. Bilbo, they shouted, we thought you were dead. Bilbo told them about the tunnels and Gollum, but he didn't tell them about the ring. He kept that secret. They walked away from the mountain quickly. But goblins and wolves were chasing them. The wolves in those mountains were evil. They worked with the goblins. Climb the trees, shouted Gandalf. Everyone climbed up tall pine trees. The wolves surrounded them. Then the goblins came too. The goblins cut down some trees and started fires. Bilbo and the others were trapped in the burning trees. They were going to die. Suddenly, great eagles came, flying through the air. The eagles were enemies of the goblins. They picked up Bilbo, Gandalf, and all the dwarves in their claws. The eagles carried them far away to a safe place on top of a rock. The eagle's leader was very large and proud. We don't usually help people, said the Eagle King, but we hate goblins and wolves. Gandalf has helped us before. The next morning, the eagles flew them closer to their destination. They put them down at the edge of a great forest. Near the forest lived a man named Bjorn. Bjorn was very big and strong. He had a strange secret. Sometimes he was a man, and sometimes he was a giant bear. Gandalf knew about Bjorn. He can help us, said Gandalf. But he doesn't like too many visitors at once. Gandalf took just 2 dwarves to meet Bjorn first. Then he went back for more dwarves, 2 at a time. This way, Bjorn would not be angry about so many visitors. Bjorn lived in a large wooden house. He had horses, dogs, sheep, and cows. But these animals were special. They could understand human language. Goblins and wolves are evil, said Bjorn. If you are enemies of goblins, then you are my friends. Bjorn gave them food and places to sleep. The food was very good. Bread, honey, butter, and milk. I can help you, said Bjorn, but I cannot go with you into the forest. The forest is called Mirkwood. It is dark and dangerous. There are giant spiders and other evil things. Bjorn gave them food for the journey. He also gave them a pony to carry their things. Follow the path, warned Bjorn. Do not leave the path, no matter what happens, and do not drink the water from the stream. Gandalf left them at the edge of Mirkwood Forest. I have other businesses, he said. Follow the path and you will be safe. The forest was very dark. The trees were so thick that sunlight could not get through. The path was narrow and hard to see. They walked for days. The forest seemed endless. Everyone was tired and hungry. The food that Bjorn gave them was almost gone. One day, they saw a river crossing the path. There was no bridge, but they had rope. They threw the rope to the other side and crossed the river one by one. While crossing, one of the dwarves fell into water. When they pulled him out, he was asleep. The water had a sleeping spell on it. They had to carry the sleeping dwarf. This made traveling even slower. Soon they were lost. The path disappeared. They climbed trees to look for the way, but they could only see more trees. Then they saw lights in the distance. It looked like a party with food and music. They were very hungry, so they went toward the lights. But when they got close, the lights disappeared. This happened 3 times. The third time, they got separated in the darkness. Bilbo was alone again. Bilbo felt something touch his face. It was sticky. He was caught in a giant spider's web. A huge spider wrapped Bilbo in its web. The spider wanted to eat him later, but Bilbo had his sword. He cut himself free and killed the spider. Then Bilbo heard voices. The voices were calling for help. They were the dwarves. Giant spiders had caught them too. Bilbo put on his magic ring and became invisible. He threw stones at the spiders to make them angry. The spiders chased the invisible Bilbo. While the spiders were chasing Bilbo, he cut the dwarves free from the webs. The dwarves fought the spiders with their weapons. "Where did you go?" asked the dwarves. "How did you escape?" Bilbo still didn't tell them about the ring. They walked through the forest for more days. Finally, they came to a river. Across the river, they could see lights. There was a palace made of wood. Wood elves lived there. These elves were different from Elrond's elves. They were more suspicious of strangers. The hungry dwarves tried to cross the river to ask for help, but the wood elves caught them. The elf king thought they were thieves. "Why are you in my forest?" asked the elf king. The dwarves would not tell him about their mission. So the elf king put them in prison. Bilbo was still invisible, so the elves didn't catch him. He followed them to the palace and lived there secretly for weeks. Bilbo learned about the palace. He found where the dwarves were locked up. He also found where the elves kept empty barrels. The elves sent the empty barrels down the river to a town called Lake Town. Bilbo had an idea for escape. Bilbo put the dwarves inside the empty barrels. Then he pushed the barrels into the river. He held onto one barrel and floated down the river too. The cold water was uncomfortable, but they escaped from the elves. The barrels floated down the river to Lake Town. Lake Town was built on a lake. The people there were called lakemen. When the barrels arrived, Bilbo helped the dwarves get out. They were wet, cold, and hungry. The lakemen were very excited to see the dwarves. "Are you really the dwarves who want to fight the dragon?" they asked. Old stories said that when the king under the mountain returned, Lake Town would be rich and happy again. The lakemen thought Thorin was this king. The master of Lake Town gave them food, clothes, and weapons. The lakemen were happy because they thought the dwarves would kill the dragon. The dragon Smaug had destroyed their old town many years ago. Since then, Lake Town was poor. "When you kill the dragon, will you share the gold?" asked the master. "Yes," said Thorin. "Lake Town will be rich again." The dwarves stayed in Lake Town for a week. They rested and prepared for the final part of their journey. Some young men from Lake Town wanted to help them, but Thorin said no. "This is our fight," he said.